Welcome to Space Coast Channel's Minorities Affairs Show. I'm your host, Teri Jones, and today we have with us Mrs. Yvonne Minus, Melbourne's newly elected City Councilwoman. Good morning, Ms. Minus. How are you?
Good morning, Ms. Jones.
So, Mrs. Minus, if you can, just tell us what is it that inspired you to go into public service?
Okay, I've really enjoyed being a public service, and that is an excellent question. I've been in the community for over 30 some years, and I just love being a servant for the community.
And so from being inspired and just loving working in the community, you moved to the city council position. So tell us, what transition in that time frame from a public servant in your community to now a city councilwoman for the city of Melbourne?
Well, being on city council, I believe you can do more for the city being on council. So I just really enjoyed it, and you can get more done, more accomplished by being on city council.
So that's a great lead-in, Mrs. Minus, doing more for the city. So what are the tasks, or what is your intent, if you will, in terms of what you want to see happen in the city that you feel that you could have an impact?
Okay, that's a good question also. I really believe that, and my platform was the Indian River Lagoon, our law enforcement, and police and fire. So those are my top three priorities where we definitely need to keep those in focus and at the forefront. And being on council, I believe my one vote plus several others can get a lot accomplished.
Well, that's interesting. Minority issues are probably somewhat surrounded or involved in all of those areas, particularly law enforcement. I know I recently attended an event that you're involved with. You are now the president of the Melbourne, help me out.
Yeah, Police Community Relations Council.
Okay, the Melbourne Police Community Relations Council. And your membership, as well as now your role as the president, I'm sure that has some tie or connection with what you would do as a city councilwoman. Is that correct?
Yes, yes it does. Being the president for the Police Community Relations Council, we interact with the police department and city council. As a matter of fact, the council was sanctioned by the City Council of Melbourne, and we meet monthly, twice a month, on the second Thursday of each month, interacting with the police department to address any issues that we may have.
Tell me, what would you consider to be maybe your top three issues or concerns as it relates to what your Melbourne Police Council is doing?
That's a good question also. We have a lot of crime in the city of Melbourne, but it has been drastically reduced by working with the police department and having them to address anything that we bring to them: crimes, prostitution, code enforcement, and we just love, the interaction that we have with the police department.
So would you say there is a plan to, I don't know if the correct word would be eliminate, but at least to help kind of decrease significantly some of those issues that you address, such as crime, prostitution, and how does that fit into our minorities in the community?
Okay, a lot of those are issues, the crimes and prostitution, or issues in the minority areas. However, we know that crime is all across the city of Melbourne and Brevard County, and the nation as a whole. But to address those, to take them to the police department, we have a great rapport with them, and I'm very happy that we do not have any issues that's outstanding and that's going to make the national news.
Well, that's good to know, Mrs. Minus. I want to also ask you about firefighting, because I know you said that's one of your platforms and your concerns. Are there concerns in terms of maybe more minority firefighters? And if there are, is there a plan maybe to increase the number of minority firefighters in Melbourne?
Hopefully so. We have a very low ratio of police officers and firefighters, and that is definitely, I am addressing that with the police chief, the chief policeman, and the chief of for the firefighters. Right. So definitely our minority quota is very low, okay. And we definitely need to have more minorities on both of those.
So I'm happy to hear that, because we believe that if there are more minorities, of course, that helps. If nothing else, when you say a low ratio, you're talking about in terms of the demographics and the numbers in respect to Melbourne.
Yes, they are very low. They are disturbingly low. However, I do know that they are reaching out to the community, and they are working very hard trying to, get qualified individuals. We can get anyone, but we definitely need qualified individuals in those positions.
So, Mrs. Minus, that's so inspiring to hear that there is an initiative for hiring of police officers as well as firefighters, and it's being targeted to the minority community. Could you tell us what the website would be and also a phone number so those who are listening and viewing could know how to exactly go and get this information?
Okay, definitely, Teri. I'd be honored to. The website is Melbourne, Florida, spelled out .org, melbourneflorida.org, under the jobs link. And there are applications that you can fill out for the police and the fire.
Beautiful. Okay. And the phone number?
Okay, the phone number it's my contact number, is 321-591-7054.
This is beautiful. We wish you all the best of luck in your new position. We have great aspirations for you, and I believe you're going to represent your community and our community well. And just thank you for being a participant today on Space Coast Channel's Minorities Affairs. And you're welcome to come back anytime and give us any updates you may have, because I'm sure as you go through this journey, there's a lot of things you'll want to share with the community. So thank you again, Mrs. Minus.
Okay. Thank you very much, Teri, and also to Space Coast Channel. It was an honor for me to be here today, and I can't thank you all enough, and I definitely will come back again. Thank you.